I'm going to share with you the three
2, 1.
biggest mistakes I see people make when it comes to training their arms that kill the progress, kill the gains that you can make. All right, let's get into it. Number one is to not follow a standard progressive overload structure. What do I mean by that? A lot of times people will train other parts of their body, chest, back, legs, bench, squat, deadlift, where they focus on trying to do more weight for more reps over time, okay, which is the general idea of progressive overload. You're progressively overloading the muscle by doing more and more over time. From 1 month to the next, you've either added a rep to the movement or you've bumped up the weight by 5 pounds, whatever. You stretch that out over a year. You've made significant tangible progress in the amount of weight that you can move for the amount of reps over time, which then leads to muscle gain as well as strength gain, and probably is the primary predictor of growth over time. But don't get your panties into a bunch. Technically, the science. All right, that's my personal belief based on my experimentation. And what I've noticed with arm training is people just throw that all out the window. And they're like, oh, it's arms, so I'm going to just superset them with really short rest times. I'm going to do my triceps. 30 seconds later, I'm going to do biceps. I'm going to do 20 reps. I'm just going to do pump sets. Bap. And it's a completely different training structure than what you're doing for your legs, chest, or back. It makes absolutely no sense. Why would the same thing that works to grow your legs or your chest or your back not work to grow your arms? All right, I know there are some subtle differences in the muscle structure and things like that, but overall it's still muscle tissue, all right? And primarily the exact same methodology or approach is going to work for your arms. So you should use a standard structure progressive overload where you pick a specific rep range. 10 to 15 reps is what I recommend. Push every set to failure is what I recommend. Track your progress within a handful of specific movements, and over time, push to add more reps and more weight to those movements. Use an extended rest time so that your muscles can recover. Superset by going back and forth, biceps to triceps, with at least a 3+ minute window so that your muscles can recover and you track your progress and work to move more weight for more reps over time. I think that's going to be the main way to grow your arms, not some crazy pyramid scheme drop set, blah, blah, blah. You can tack that on at the end. Those intensity techniques are still effective, but that shouldn't be the core foundation of your training. Number 2 is not having an arm day. All right. If you really want to grow your arms, you should follow a split where you have an arm day so that you focus on those muscles. If you tack your biceps onto the end of your chest workout, or you tack your triceps onto the end of your back workout, or whatever it may be, it's not a priority and the muscle isn't going to grow. If it's an afterthought and you haven't looked at your training structure where you go, I want to prioritize this muscle group, or I want to evenly prioritize everything, well, then your split needs to represent that, okay? And so I think if you specifically want to see some substantial arm growth, that a chest, back, shoulders day, a arm day, and a leg day should generally be your split. Now, some people like to split up their leg days into 2 days, whatever. You need to have an arm day, 100%. Don't just tack it on with one of the other days. That's not going to be effective, okay? So if you're serious about growing your arms, have an arm day. The third one is just zero intensity and focus, all right? I'm going to challenge you to do this. Walk into the gym the next time you're in there and look around in between your sets and just take stock of what the environment is, okay? Now, depending on your gym, maybe you go to some hardcore badass gym where people are freaking bleeding. They're bleeding in there, putting in the dues with the iron, maybe. But most places people aren't, and that's fine. At the end of the day, being in the gym, moving your body, exercising at all is a good thing. Even if you sit on your phone for 80% of the workout, at least you're moving for 20% of the workout. It's better than sitting at home for 100% of the time sitting on your phone doing nothing, all right? So I'm not discouraging or trying to disrespect anybody who enters into the gym because you've gone there to try to exercise and better yourself. But if you're serious about making gains and you're frustrated and you don't know why your arms aren't growing, look at the behavior of what you're doing. If you go in there and train your arms and you leave and you're not even sweating, you did something wrong, okay? If you don't have an insane pump where you feel like your arms are about to burst, you did something wrong, okay? If you don't feel absolutely exhausted and maybe even a little bit nauseous to your stomach, then you did something wrong, okay? And the way that 95% of people train in the gym, whatever your goal is, you're not pushing yourself. You're not focused. You're on your phone, whatever. Get rid of your phone, put the music in, focus your energy into every single set. And this is simple, all right? At the end of the day, you got to think about it. And what I'm encouraging you to do is to look at what you're doing objectively. Maybe it's not what you want to hear. You don't like what I'm saying. But if you go in there with a lackluster approach, you don't get anywhere. And I'm in the gyms all the time, and I see what people are doing. And 95% of people are not putting in anywhere near the level of focus and intensity that they need to actually carve out additional gains over time. It's difficult to get your body to build muscle. It's really, really difficult. So you need to be focused. You need to be intense. So if you're saying, I want to grow my arms, I have these goals, then audit yourself and assess, like, do I go in there with intense focus and aggressive intention to push my body to do more than it previously could? And if you don't, you're not going to get anywhere. All right. So and I think what plays into that is people see arms as a small muscle group, so it shouldn't be overly taxing or whatever. Legs, it's the biggest muscle group, so you should be absolutely exhausted afterwards. But arms, you just kind of pump up. No. If you didn't push yourself hard enough that you're absolutely exhausted after the session, then over time you're just not going to see significant progress, and that's a decision you have to make. I'm just giving you the truth, the raw facts, and the reality of what it's going to take. And if you say you want to do something, here's the process of what you have to do to get there. So those are the 3 biggest things I've seen to hamstring people when it comes to trying to grow their arms. Hope that helps you. Hope maybe you learned a few things. Listen to me ramble on. You go out there and grow your pipe daddies up a little bit. Have a great day. Peace.